Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhishek, and together with my teammates, we will be presenting our analysis on the evolution of the malware attack, especially focusing on the SolarWinds incident. The SolarWinds incident stands as one of the most sophisticated attacks so far. This attack not only targeted US government agencies, but also the major corporations in the entire world, beginning with the compromise of the SolarWinds Orion software itself that initiated one of the greatest supply chain attacks so far. Let me give you a bit of background on the attack and the company itself. SolarWinds is a major US-based company that makes softwares for managing IT infrastructures for the enterprise. And their own Orion platform, a software which is one of the main software that was exploited and is used by thousands of organizations worldwide. The timeline of the attack is like this. In March 2020, the attackers were able to insert malicious code onto the Orion updates, and the attack wasn't discovered until December 2020. But the impact was already massive enough. More than 18,000 SolarWinds customers has already installed the Trojanized software update. This allowed attackers to monitor internet communication and perform espionage, and even steal tools while being undetected for months and months. Later on, the US government attributed the attack coming out of the Russia, and the threat actor were identified as APT-29. And so far, the affected organizations include critical industries such as US Treasury and Commerce Department, major cybersecurity companies such as FireEye, and organizations like Microsoft, NATO, and many other major entities. Now, I would like to pass it to Prakash, who will discuss more on the critical analysis of the malware attack. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abhishek. I'm Prakash, and I'll be discussing about the critical analysis of this attack. We can start with this evolutions of malware. We have seen a lot shift from the individual attack targeting a personal device to widespread coordinated attacks on an enterprise network and critical infrastructure. The SolarWinds attacks represent the sophisticated pinnacle attacks of this history, and which is infiltrated the trusted software supply chain itself. This attack is also classified as an advanced persistent threats, or APT. The attacker, suspected to be an Russian state actor, remains in a system for a longer period of time, showcasing a growth trends of the stealth and the persistence in the malware attacks. The SolarWinds incident is also a mark as a new phase of cyber warfare. This shifted from direct network attack to the exploiting the dependency within the trusted software vendors. This approach has a significant impact for how we can think about the cybersecurity in the coming days. Now let's critically analyze this attack. Underlying the assumptions, the attacker exploit the trust organization placed in a automatic software updates from vendors. This highlights the vulnerabilities in the third-party security practice. And the second one is the consistent concept. One major debate is that the responsibility for securing the supply chain, should it fall under a software provider like a SolarWinds Origins, or the end users? The complexity of this relation completes accountability. And the third one is the original insights. This attack is triggered a shift in the cybersecurity approach. Now there is a clear needs of highlighted security over the software dependency and the adoptions of the new trust models, which there is no entity in automatically trusted. And let's talk again. Now we can talk about the key features. The key features of the SolarWinds attacks include using Origin as attack vendors, allowing backdoors in thousands of organizations, and the sophisticated inbound techniques to avoid the detections, and unpredictable stealth and the persistence and the last several months before the detections. This feature presents the significant challenge in the coming generations of this advanced AI technology. At last, I'd like to thank you, and now I'll pass to Asal. He'll be discussing about impact and the consequences. Thanks.
Thank you, Prakash. I'm Asal Batroy, and I will be covering the impact and consequences of the SolarWinds attacks, as well as how we can apply the knowledge gained from this incident. The global impact of this attack cannot be overstated. It affects governments, Fortune 500 companies, and critical infrastructures across the world. We saw massive data breaches that shook both public and private institutions to their core. The economic and political consequences were significant. The US imposed sanctions on Russia in response to the attack. New cybersecurity regulations were introduced. Organizations faced substantial financial losses, not just from the compromised data, but also from the extensive remediation efforts required. Looking at long-term effects on cybersecurity policy, we are seeing new security mandates for software supply chains, a prioritization of tighter cybersecurity measures, increased focus on securing software throughout its life cycle from development to distribution. Now let's talk about how we can apply the knowledge gained from this incident. First is supply chain vulnerability theory. These attacks demonstrate how vulnerabilities in the supply chain can be exploited to devastating effect. And second one, we is cyber resilience. It highlighted the need for organization to not just prevent attacks, but to be able to adapt and recover when they do occur. Next one is zero trust architecture. This incident underscored the importance of not automatically trusting any entity, even within an organization network. These theories have practical implications. Organizations must adopt zero trust models. There is a clear need for investment in enhanced monitoring and detection tools. Cybersecurity strategies need to account for potential vulnerabilities throughout the entire software lifecycle. As we look to the future, we anticipate an increase in supply chain attacks and the use of more advanced techniques such as AI-driven attacks. In response, we are seeing the emergence of defense mechanisms like zero trust models and enhanced supply chain monitoring. Policy implications include a growing need for international cooperation on cybersecurity and more stringent in policies of software development and distribution. I will now hand over to Roman, who will discuss our research methodology and findings.
Thank you, Asal. I'm Roman Best and I will be discussing our research methodology, key finding, and concluding our presentation. For our study, we employed a qualitative case study method. Our data collection involved two methods. One is primary data and the second one is secondary data. So for in the primary data, we analyze public domain reports and technical reports. And in the secondary data, we concluded an extensive review on academic literature and industry reports. Our data analysis approach includes thematic analysis, comparative analysis, and statistical analysis. In thematic analysis, we use to identify patterns and themes in the attack methods, and in the comparative analysis, we use to contrast the SolarWinds attack with other non-cyber incidents, and the statistical analysis helps to quantify certain aspects of the attack's impact. Now, I like to discuss on key findings of our research. The first one is novel malware techniques. In these techniques, the attackers employed advanced onboard techniques that go beyond traditional APT strategies. And the second one is supply chain exploitation. In this supply chain exploitation, attackers exposed vulnerability in software verification procedures and trust modes. And the third one is prolonged undetected activity. In this activity, sunburst virus used complex verification techniques to evade detection for months. And the fourth one is software update exploitation. In this exploitation, malware was distributed by legitimate software update procedure exploiting trusted channels. And the fifth one is sophisticated evasion. In this finding, the malware intricate command and control structure allowed it to evade traditional detection methods. And And some future works that are done by so these are the future works that needs to be done in the future works. Our research has identified several areas for the future works, like understanding attackers' motivations and target selection strategies. And the next one is enhancing detection capability through machine learning and AI, improving international cooperation in responding to cyber incidents, rebuilding trust in software distribution channel. And the next one is studying shifts in cyber risk perception and organizational responses. Likewise, the last one is updating existing cybersecurity frameworks to add supply chain vulnerability. Now, in conclusion, I like to conclude our research lab. The SolarWinds attack stands as a landmark case in the evolution of malware. It has highlighted critical vulnerabilities in software supply chains. It emphasized the need for improved security measures throughout software development and distribution processes, and it's also provided crucial insight for security experts and policymakers. And our research offer recommendation for preventing future supply chain and phishing attacks, and it contributing to the ongoing efforts to enhance global cybersecurity. Thank you for your attention, and here are our references which we used to make the presentation and for our research. And thank you for your attention. Right now, open to any questions you have. Thank you so much.